in the tribe of Judah. I don't know.
Yeah, King James was born. He was from the tribe of Judah.
But he didn't take it out.
No, he didn't take it out. The Roman Catholic Church did, right? So, look at this truth today. They did that to hide the truth from modern people. They did that, right? When you go into the Catholic Church today, the Apocrypha is in their Bible. They keep it. They can use it. They can look at it. But for everybody else, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So that's the hypocrisy of it all. You fighting King James on the Bible with the Apocrypha in it, all right, and call him a lie, but y'all got it in y'all Bibles.
Right.
Go ahead, Prophet. I just wanted to bring that out. Go ahead, Prophet.
The King James Version, 1611, is the most accurate translation of the Bible, simply because it correlates almost exactly with the Hebrew and Greek scrolls in which the Old and New Testament were written.
See there?
King James had nothing to do with the actual translation of the Bible as far as hands-on translating from one language to another. He instead hired 47 of the best scholars of his time who were skilled in Hebrew and Greek to translate the holy text from one language to another.
So that's another lie that's been called out that King James made the Bible. He didn't touch nothing. He didn't add or take away from the Bible. He hired the scholars of his day and time to put the manuscripts together. All right? So that's a lie right there that's been overturned. Go ahead, Bob.
All this went on in a time period in history known as the Dark Age.
As what, Prophet?
The Dark Ages.
Now, this is here from us right now, but we don't really know nothing about the Dark Ages. Mm-hmm. We know about the Renaissance.
Mm-hmm. And if you would just walk with us as we identify the Dark Ages, because if anyone remembers, as I did, being one who have always loved to study and always loved school, the Lord has blessed me with a memory. And I do remember every time we got to the Dark Ages, there was very little information. All you knew was the Dark Ages, and you were given the time periods in which it began and ended. And then next, in your history books, in your school books, you probably can get your child's history book right now or your grandchild's history book, and you will see it's only Dark Ages titled, and you will have the date it began and the date that it ended. It will give you nothing. And thereafter, immediately following, it will state the Renaissance era.
Because the truth be told, they will conspire to hide our history, to hide the facts from the people even from their own towns. So it's always been planned to hide the true history from the people. Okay, and we know that. These people of the earth today record everything. We document everything. You mean to tell me we don't know what happened in the Dark Ages? Somebody knows.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Father.
So also this went on in a time period in history known as the Dark Age. 800 years where apparently nothing of historical value occurred. How convenient. Mm-hmm. During this time, black kings, Hebrews, sat on thrones all over Europe.
Okay, so I'm gonna come right back to this article, brother. So we're gonna go back to 70 A.D. Okay, and we're gonna go back to 70 A.D. After 70, when 70 A.D. was over with, when 70 A.D. was over, right? Two black generals led the revolt against Rome and took over Rome. Rome fell. Black people started ruling England or Europe at that time.
Which is why it's called the Dark Ages. And that's what I wanted to get back at. I never understood why we don't hear much about the Dark Ages, and because we didn't have any history and nothing was written on it, I just, it left it for assumption. And so I assumed it was something really horrible and eerie and eerie because everything is dark. That's dark in this world, they would tell you is bad anyway. Mm-hmm. So because year after year, going through elementary, junior high, high school, college, graduate school, nothing. I have 2 masters, people. Nothing on Dark Ages, but everything on Renaissance.
Everything on Renaissance. Brothers and sisters, the fables of King Arthur. Mm-hmm. And what's the lady? What is her name? The prophet lady that was riding a horse. It'll come to me. But these people were established in the Dark Ages. Where do you get that from? And you would know the burning of many Bibles happened during the Dark Ages. Witchcraft during the Dark Ages, right? So there was a purging in the land, a cleansing in the land. But at this time, black people sat on the throne. Okay? Go ahead, Pablo. You can go right back to your article.
Oh, I thought you wanted me.
You know what? Thank you, Most High. Joan of Arc.
Right.
Joan of Arc during the Dark Ages. Okay, a female prophetess that the Most High spoke to. Okay, this has happened during the Dark Ages. So they want to highlight what they want to highlight and bring out what they want to highlight. But the people that really had a significant impact during this time was, of course, will be a king.
Right. And the reason, and so I mean, it brings up suspicion that if this was, first of all, it's called Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm.
It was never expounded upon except for those few references that you stated. More than likely, is probably all that many people know about that, the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm.
But more specifically and most importantly, that black kings, Hebrews, sat on thrones all over Europe during that time. So again, they're still referencing color.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's called Dark Ages.
It's called the Dark.
They didn't call it Dark Ages. See, they want you to believe that they called it Dark Ages because Jonah, we know the references in the history was fighting. They were fighting witchcraft and things as
right.
such. So they consider they turn your mind towards that time that witchcraft was being, really up. But they don't tell you that the reason that it's called Dark Ages is because the black kings sat on thrones.
Exactly, Prophetess. And another identifying factor about it was the so-called Black Death, the Black Plague.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's historical truth that happened during that time. There was a cleansing in the land. The Most High was cleaning the land up. When they teach about the Black Plague, and if you look at the demographics of people who that affected, and you look at that, brothers and sisters, look at the nation of people that really affected the Black Plague. Look at it. Okay? So, even in the movies, you would see most of the people were of fair skin, so-called white people that were affected by this Black Plague. Okay? So, we'll let the prophets continue to bring out this article of truth on King James. Keep on, prophets.
King James was one of the last kings of this era to reign over Europe, one of the last Hebrew black kings to reign over Europe. King James was later beheaded by his enemies, him and his children, and England, Scotland, Ireland, and France taking control of. These same people responsible are still in power today. Shortly after the Apocrypha was then again removed, they removed it again after they killed him and beheaded him and slaughtered his family. However, if you get the King James Version 1611 today, you can find it with the Apocrypha, or you can just get hold of the Apocrypha separately. You can buy it separately. King James was one of the few admirable kings. A few facts about King James.
All right, Papa, go right back. We're going to bring this important fact out. Go back when it says that they happened. Who sits on the throne today? What happened there? King James was beheaded, and who sits on the throne?
And the same people responsible are still in power today.
And the same people responsible are still in power today. What does that tell you, brothers? The people that's over in the UK, that's kings and queens that claim that title are illegitimate.
They stole it by killing him.
They took 3 thrones, right?
Yeah. England, Scotland, Ireland, and France.
Okay, no. Go ahead, Papa. I just want to bring that out to your attention. So this queen over there, she's illegitimate. That whole household, that whole family line does not have the right to be kings and queens over there. Okay? Go ahead, Papa.
And we have to even go back to what King James was saying in the first place. Rome is the seat of the Antichrist. So when we think about the enemies taking over and him being beheaded over all these different countries and, thrones that he had, and so if they were his enemies, who was he fighting against? We read it, the Roman Catholic Church. who's the biggest influence right now over in those particular lands? The Roman Catholic Church. So who was the enemy that killed him?
The Roman Catholic Church.
Who was the enemy that took the throne?
The Roman Catholic Church.
All right.
Who was the enemy that went into Israel in 70 A.D. and killed the Israelites, did sacrifice, and desecrated the land? The Roman Catholic Church. Okay. Who was the enemy that when Christ walked the earth was the enemy to his people and to him? The Roman Catholic Church. Anything else you got there, Prophetess, on King James?
No. I mean, unless it's something else that you want me to.
So that I wanted to bring that out, brothers and sisters, and there's a holy anger and a holy righteousness that comes on the Most High people when it comes to the truth. Tell the truth, speak the truth. All right. So you can research this. King James was not a white man. He was not a homosexual. He was a righteous man. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. We are going to stick with the title of today's lesson. Prophetess, bring that title out again.
It's not over.
It's not over. And I'm talking about those that seeking to come and worship the Most High God, the real God, and come up under his umbrella of salvation. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're alive each and every day, you have an opportunity. Even with our opening song, it testifies to that. All right? You have an opportunity to come back to the Most High God and serve him and live. Okay? So, yes, this body believes in the God of the Bible, that Christ is the Son of the Most High God, Ahaya, Esha, Ahaya, that is his name in Hebrew, and Christ's name is Yeshaya, that is his name in Hebrew. Okay.
We did have a few more facts. I think we had went off trying to identify who the enemy was, mm-hmm. and we were coming to the King James. That King James was one of the few admirable kings, and there were a few facts about King James, and we didn't go over those.
Bring that up, Prophet, please.
It says King James I was a Christian who wanted the Bible in the hands of the common man. Commissioned the authorized King James Bible in 1611. Mm-hmm. Fluent in Greek, Latin, French, English, and his native Scots. Fluent in Italian and Spanish. He wrote extensively, including Basilicon Doron.
So this was no stupid man. This was a learned man, right?
Right, meaning the kingly gift. Now, monologue and tracts on varied subjects such as counterblast to tobacco, which condemn the use of tobacco. These and many other writings are found in the works of the Most High and Mighty Prince James in Jacobean typography. The letter I can represent I or J. And if you find a King James 1611 Bible, you will see that letter I there, because we know we've stated several times that the letter J is a fairly new letter given to when you consider how long we have been writing and using any type of manuscript.
Right.
So that'll be the letter that you'll find. So it says Ames, but it's really James that we know. We're accustomed to.
Right.
A massive selection of the king's writings now online. In the works, one finds that King James was a contender for the faith of Yeshua HaMashiach and cared about the spiritual well-being of his kingdom. He even wrote Christian meditations for his people. His writings are still relevant today. King James has a message that Rome does not want you to hear.
It seems like it to me. It sounds like that's the truth to me. If he wanted to make sure that the 1611 Bible gets into the hands of every common man and Rome didn't, what would you hide? Why you take the Apocrypha out of the Bible?
Continuously. 101. William Shakespeare was one of his subjects. Learning and writing thrived under the king's reign, formed the foundation of what is now known as the British Empire by uniting warring tribes of Scotland and then enjoying the crowns of Scotland and England in 1603.
Here's a known fact, brothers and sisters. This king encouraged reading and writing. He was learned. When the slaves that were captured off the shores of Western Africa put on those slave ships and were brought over here, Even it's depicted in the movie Roots. They were told that their